Here's Airman Winslow Saxon with news from November.
If there was one month of the year when soldiers, sailors, and airmen really knew they were in a potentially hostile environment, it was November. Full Eagle 93 was the world's most extensive base ground defense exercise this year. Osan was the central hub of activity, but troops from all over the world came to play war. At the onset, the base itself was transformed to a battle zone. Concertina wire, barriers, and fortified positions became a common sight across Osan. Physical barriers can sometimes play as great a role in defense as men and weapons do.
Our critical facilities are usually the areas that we heavily concertina around. There's so much concertina around most of our areas right now for this exercise that any enemy that even try and cross the wire will be so bloody by the time they get to the objective they won't be effective at all.
With everything ready, both defenders and opposition forces geared up for the first night of battle. Saboteurs and simulated explosions kept defenders busy on one side of the base, while the main bulk of the bad guys slithered through the dark to attack the other. Defenders, however, had a secret ace in the hole. A complex system of sensors and thermal imaging devices made it all but impossible for the enemy to get any deep penetration. As with any battle, enemy prisoners of war were detained and questioned, giving police and intelligence forces practice in every aspect of a battle. Tent City was revitalized to house all the out-of-town players, providing a comfortable but realistic safe haven for defenders. As the exercise wound down, OSI had to stop making those simulated bombs that kept everyone on their toes, and the base hosted the Army's 23rd Chemical Battalion in a joint decontamination exercise in the command group area. November wasn't only a month of exercises and simulated battles. Osan grew in other ways as well. The Communications Squadron celebrated the opening of their new building, consolidating all their small detachments in one facility. The Honorable Les Aspin, Secretary of Defense, chose Osan Air Base as his site to come and speak to the troops one-on-one, addressing the importance of U.S. presence in Korea.
You being here helps us show that America means business. You, by being here, send an unmistakable message of the United States' resolve. Out here on the edge of the spear, you're helping us to deter conflict and to promote peace and stability. So I am here to tell you that we appreciate what you're doing. Whether you fly a plane, whether you turn a wrench, whether you tweak the radar or analyze the intelligence, you're really a critical part of the best trained, best equipped, most ready to fight force that this good old world has ever seen.
Colonel Robert Smolin, Support Group Commander, hosted a town meeting, bringing commanders together to field questions, compliments, and complaints from all in attendance. The 554th Red Horse had a 28th anniversary party that was anything but just another stuffy military function, beginning with a twilight march across base and ending with water gun battles and food fights and laughter. Red Horse did more than party in November. They were also busy building a Quonset hut for the 51st CE, a fast, easy type of construction expected to be used more often in the new efficient quality Air Force. Smokers were encouraged to give up the habit in late November when we celebrated the Great American Smokeout.
Over 1 million people in the United States quit smoking for a day, and some of them quit smoking for the rest of their life. And that's basically the plan. We figure if people can prove to themselves that they can quit smoking for 1 day, then maybe they know that they can quit smoking for the rest of their life.
What a busy month November was indeed. Even pets didn't get a reprieve as they were groomed up and shown off in the Fun Pet Show, an event planned and promoted to end the month with a great big smile. Now let's close out 1993 with Sergeant J.D. Harrington and December.
December was hectic for Osan, due primarily to the number of visitors we hosted. In particular, Osan was honored by the visit from the President of South Korea, President Kim Young-sam. The President requested the visit, saying he wanted to see firsthand what he considers the heart of the military operations that defend his country.
I'm extremely grateful and really thankful for your efforts and contributions for maintaining peace and security in the Republic of Korea despite cold weathers like today. And I'm very sure that in the future you will be very proud of yourself in thinking that you have contributed wholeheartedly for the peace and security of my country.
Osan also hosted the PACAF Senior Enlisted Advisor, Chief Master Sergeant Bruce Livesey, for a few days. The Sports and Fitness Center was the site of the men and women's Pacific-wide basketball tournament this month. Competition was fierce as the teams from Japan swept the men's side, and the Osan women losing the final championship game to the Yongsan Running Rebels 81-53. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders also paid a visit to Osan, walking through the AMC gates December 12th. While their first show was supposed to be at Yongsan, they were met at the terminal by nearly 150 fans, so they cleared a little room and danced and sang for a while. The chapel hosted a 50-piece children's orchestra from the Central Baptist Church at Suwon, Korea. Because of the anticipated crowd, they performed at the Officers Club during the chapel's normal Sunday night service. The children, all 7 to 12 years old, thrilled the 400 or so people in the audience the entire night. AFKN shot features on the post office, taking the Best in PACAF award for the 3rd year in a row. We covered just a few of the many services that helped them garner the award. A senior airman from the hospital also came out on top, taking first place in the Air Force-wide Medical Technician of the Year competition. After winning the award, Senior Airman Jacqueline Foster said she enjoys her job.
I would say the main ingredient is willingness, and probably the biggest thing is treat people the way you want to be treated. When patients come into the emergency room or any type of ward or clinic, they're coming in because they're sick, and treat that person as if it was your family or yourself walking in, and give them the service that you would expect.
In other news, the Mustang Club opened a new bakery in December, offering patrons a full range of mouth-watering treats. Plans are in the works to offer full-time delivery service within a few months. The security police came to a little kitten's rescue when someone heard it screaming from a benjo ditch behind the new comm building. The cat is now safe and sound thanks to the can-do attitude displayed by the 51st SPs and an interested passerby. The Health Promotions Office sponsored an essay and poster contest to get children involved in the Great American Smokeout. The idea was to let the children know early on about the dangers of smoking, so they'll possibly never start the habit. And to close out this special edition of Mustang Digest, here's Colonel Bob Smolin, Commander 51st Support Group.
Hi, I'm Colonel Bob Smolin, and I'd like to talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to in 1994. First and foremost, I think, in our minds is the ORI. Our report card as a wing is going to be written by the end of January. Since the ORIs are taking place a little bit more broad than they have in the past, this report card is going to be with us for a long time. The men and women that have been practicing very hard over the last 4 months for sure know very well what we have to do, and I think we're very capable of doing that, and I'm looking forward to putting on the absolute best performance that we can in January. Beyond that, we're looking at a lot of quality of life issues for Osan. The high school was awarded last week, and we've got a very ambitious program to complete that within 2 years. Although I probably will not be fortunate enough to be here to watch students walk in the door that first day of school, I hope the rest of us that are going to be here for at least the next 18 months and trying to make it the best it can be are going to be proud of the product that they finally come up with. In the housing area, we've got several new dorms that are going to be coming online. We've got groundbreaking for yet another one next year. So while we have a fairly severe shortage, we're certainly hopeful that in the future we're going to end up having more dormitory space and a lot better quality dormitory space for the men and women who serve at Osan. We're also looking at moving around. The new comm building caused a lot of turmoil, and when the communications folks consolidated, many of us were able to go to facilities that they vacated and shore up our offices and get closer and consolidate. Hopefully within the next 6 months to a year, that'll be complete. Once we get those facilities and we put the work that we want to put into them on both the interior and exterior, we're going to have better places to work and be more effective at doing our job and save time by doing it, because we're going to be together rather than being split up in many sections of the base, as a lot of duty titles are right now. But in the area of sports, we're building 3 new fields. We should have 2 of those ready to go in the spring, and hopefully the 3rd shortly to follow. We're excited about the possibility of having some lights out there, being able to use those fields pretty much year-round. We've got a project to go into the current fields that we're using, and we hope that that will also enable us to have a little extra capacity to expand our intramural program, which right now is regarded as one of the best in PACAF. So hopefully those things will come online in the near term as well. All in all, I think we want to leave a legacy when we depart Osan of having it be a better place than when we arrived. It's tough on a one-year tour to be able to see a whole lot of progress, but a lot of progress is taking place. It has taken place in '93, it's going to take place in '94, and we want to make sure that the warriors here in Korea, providing security to this peninsula and protecting American and Korean interests, have the very best place to work, live, and play that we can provide. And I think '94 is going to be a foundation year because many, many important projects are going to take place then. So I look forward to being a part of that, and I'm certain that the men and women here at Osan are also looking forward to being a part of that important year. So we're welcoming in 1994. Thanks.
AFKN Osan wishes everyone a safe and productive new year. AFKN Osan is Master Sergeant J.D. Harrington, Station Manager and Executive Producer. Airman First Class Winslow Saxon, Producer and Staff Announcer. Airman First Class Shamil Saab, Staff Announcer. Airman First Class Bridget Remke, Staff Announcer. Mr. Yu-I-sik, Station Engineer. And everyone else who has worked with AFKN Osan during 1993.